Hey gaming crew, welcome to my top 3 games of June 2018. If you'd like to listen to the previous month's podcast, you'll find the link in the description below. Please note, this is my top 3 list out of all the games I played throughout the month. It does not include games that I played before 2018. The criteria I used is arbitrarily ranked with an arbitrary rating system and solely reflects my preferences. If you have a list of games that you enjoyed, that's great. Let me know in the comments below. If you think I'm wrong about a game I like and that I should have liked something else, please move along. This is my list and not yours. And with that, let's get going with June 2018. I did really poorly in history class when I was in high school. Then, several years later, when I went to college, I had to take world history. It was prehistory to Renaissance, so not as many dates to remember, but there were a lot of names, places, and events we had to study. Surprisingly, I loved this class. The ancient history stuff was of particular interest. It got my imagination going, and so I found myself reading, in my free time, about 7 Wonders. Yes, the 7 Wonders of the ancient world. And yes, I also like the Fleetwood Mac song of the same name. 7 Wonders is a game designed by Antoine Bauza and published by Repost Production. It hosts from 2 to 7 players aged 10 or older and lasts 30 minutes. What can I say about this card drafting tableau builder that hasn't been said before? It's a fast game, even with 7 players. There's a lot of variability to the game. The artwork is fantastic, and the game mechanics for handling nearly everything simultaneously is awesome. While the game takes longer than 30 minutes, it's not a crazy long 2-hour deal. In most instances, players can make a quick decision for what they need at the time and act on it. The game does slow down a bit during the third age when you're deciding whether you want guild cards for additional scoring, to gun for more science or civics, or to build up your military for those extra points at the end of the game. I try to change my tactics each time I play. Invariably, however, my neighbors always lead me in other directions, so my plans don't always pan out the ways I want. This is a must-have gateway game, and with all the expansions, I highly recommend at least leaders. There's a good deal more fun to be had, at the expense of about another 15 to 30 minutes. Play the game if you haven't already, especially if you like card drafting. The second game this month was number 1 last month, so if you've listened to that entry, here it is again. Space. Space is a game designed by John D. Clare and published by AEG. It hosts from 2 to 5 players aged 14 or older and lasts 30 to 75 minutes. Space is faster than 7 Wonders, or at least it feels that way. Again, I can't stress just how much fun this game is, and I definitely recommend everyone try the game at least once. It's quick, it's simple, but there are a lot of choices to make that increase this game's longevity at my table. There are a few games that I really like. I've been finding that my tastes have moved to the more complex games. Give me bits, give me strategy, give me space. This game gives me all of that and more. It's a game about colonization with hard choices about resource management. Do you use that secondary ability at the cost of resources that could be potentially lost for the rest of the game? Do you colonize this next world or move onward in search of something better? What is this game? Well, it's Kepler 3042. Kepler 3042 is a game designed by Simone Cerruti Sola, please pardon my pronunciations, and published by Renegade Game Studios. It hosts from 1 to 4 players aged 14 or older and lasts 60 to 90 minutes. Yes, this game takes that and longer, especially on your first play. But it's so worth the time you put into it. The bits in this game are marvelous and look like spaceships. It has cubes, tokens, resources, player mats, a large main board filled with planets to colonize and exploit. It has strategy and decision making. The action selection method is something that I had never seen in any game I've ever played before. Action selection is a grid movement device all its own, to an extent. You choose which action you want to perform out of 9. Space missions, colonize planets, tech development, stellar propulsion, terraform planets, galactic map, energy storage, planetary exploitation, and generate antimatter. You may also take up to 2 bonus actions after you complete your chosen main action. The row and column of your chosen action dictates the 2 bonus actions you may take. But in order to take these bonus actions, you must burn 1 or 2 resources, 1 for each bonus action. These resources cannot be used unless you can somehow regenerate them from your Clausius pit. So if you're not careful, you can run out of your limited resources. The 6 bonus actions are space logistics, technological advancement, scientific progress, cultural evolution, exploratory planning, and exploitation of NEO, near-Earth objects. Thus, you can take up to 3 actions per turn based on your main action and availability of resources. It can get pretty thinky at times, so choose when and where you use your bonus actions to most benefit from their effects. In addition to all this, you're working on advancing your technological prowess in 5 different fields: space travels, quantum physics, energy development, terraforming, and antimatter science. Each step in each field provides you with abilities, resources, or both. For instance, you have to have a high enough space travels ability in order to move your ships to other planets. If you don't research that technology, you'll never leave Earth. Also, if you research higher areas that have a light bulb on them, everyone else who are less developed than you in that field get a free increase as well. The catch-up mechanic. Oh man, this is one of those games that gets my blood pumping and brain hurting. 2 things that tell me I'm having a great time. This is in no way, shape, or form a gateway game. This is one of those heavy hitters, and it hit me hard. I recommend this game to everyone who enjoys space exploration and freedom of choice in their game. There is some randomness in the form of an event deck, but it's minimal overall. Play it. And there you have it, the top 3 games I played in June 2018. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and that I may have inspired you to play some or all of these games, or at least try one of the ones I've mentioned here. Look for the next top 3 very soon. Until then, game on. And as always, this is Excalibur, and I am out.